guys and gals, it's Tony Green with Greenhaven Realty and the We Love Lewisville-Clemmons pages. Thanks for being with us today. I am with Tim Johnson of N Tell LLC. Tim, how are you, man?
Great, Tony. How you doing, bud?
Awesome. Doing great. Thanks, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, so we're going to talk a little bit about N Tell LLC and what all you do. And let me tell you, folks, this dude is a multi-talented guy. He's got a lot going on, but I'm not going to steal his thunder. I'm going to let him tell you all about it. But, before we get into N Tell LLC, why don't you just tell us, more about yourself, Tim?
Yeah, sure. Again, thanks, Tony. Appreciate you, man. I'm born and raised in North Carolina. I was actually born in Winston-Salem. I was raised in Valdez, it's a Burke County area going towards Asheville. And after that, I went to the Navy.
Thank you for your service, by the way.
Appreciate you, bro. And I was stationed in California, San Diego, to be specific, on 32nd Street on the USS Cleveland. That's an old ship, Jack. It's actually decommissioned now. It was a diesel.
Oh yeah,
it was an old ship. So after that, I got out, attended junior college out there for a little bit, played a little football. Came back home on GI Bill, finished my degree. I have a BA in psychology, a minor in sociology. And after that, went into the retail world for a little bit. Worked for Discovery Channel. Worked for World Market for a little while as a supervisor, and then I went to this small chain out of Florida called Sports Fanatic. I was with those guys for a while.
I remember them.
Manager, assistant DM. They had some good stuff, man. Haynes Mall, where they used to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good spot. It's a good spot. That was 2007 was when I finished up there, and then I went into teaching.
Okay.
Teaching. Long-term sub for a while, and I was given the opportunity to go in the lateral entry program. For folks who don't know, that's if you have a degree and but it's not in teaching, the school or a school system will get you situated to where you can go back to school, get your teaching degree, and
I guess if you have like experience in another industry, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And it's funny because that translated to me actually becoming a job coach for Carter High School for a little while. But yeah, in between that, I was a long-term sub. I worked at Parkland. I worked at West Forsyth, and then I wound up in Carter High School for almost 7 years.
Okay. And so how did you transition from teaching over to N Tell LLC?
That was don't tell my old boss. I was actually doing that on the side. Whenever I had a chance at school, I would just do my research on voiceover. That's where N Tell LLC actually. That's the foundation of it was.
Okay.
My voiceover career kicking off.
But I think you had a co-worker that had said something about your voice, right? Yeah.
That was my old boss, Miss Donna Horton-Berry. She's a great person. She's actually retired now too. Go figure. But so I was reading to a class. And I was sitting in front of class, just reading. Everybody's all like, and she walked by the room, and then she stopped. I sat on the corner of my eye. She stopped and came back in the classroom and just sat down. I was like, uh-oh. Okay. So I just kept reading. It's like, I don't know what the hell I did, but all right. And so, the bell rings, everybody leaves and whatever. And she comes up to me and is like, you should probably get into voiceover. I'm looking at her like, okay, thanks. What the hell is
talking about?
What? I don't want to do cartoons. What are you talking about? I want to be like, what's that gentleman? The great Don LaFontaine, the movie trailer guy. In a world, that guy. Yeah. That's the only thing that popped in my head when she said voiceover. I'm like, I don't do that stuff. So I actually took it to heart and I started doing research. We had a computer lab, and I'll drop by there on my little break and, just do some research. Long story short, I wound up hiring a coach to, get me associated with the voiceover world, and
right.
He's teaching me the ins and outs, things of that nature. I went to a voiceover conference. next thing I know, I'm getting hired to do voiceovers, and
Man, that's awesome.
It is, man. You know, a lot of people fall on their face when they go after something they really love to do.
Yeah.
I was lucky.
Well, hey, at least your old boss didn't say, Tim, you know, you really have a face for radio.
Yeah, you're right. Like, thanks. Appreciate it.
No, but I mean, it's really cool the way how that started. I mean, just, you know, some encouragement from a boss, you know, and to go into a different field.
Yeah.
And I mean, here you are now, and it's, you know, one of your primary sources of income.
Yeah, and it pissed her off when she found out I was leaving. She did not want me to go, man.
Yeah.
I love that place, man. But you're right, man. It's funny how getting some encouragement by people that you respect will kind of give you that little boost, like, okay, yeah, oh, maybe I can do this.
Yeah. So what was it like when you first got started? I know you said you got a gig pretty soon.
Well, I mean, I got a gig, but then it just went quiet for like a year and a half. It just, I was like, shh, okay, here we go. my coach told me this, and everybody, other voiceover talents, man, it's an ebb and flow. You know how it is being an entrepreneur. You run your own spot, folks, and sometimes it's
yes.
So you gotta stay focused. You gotta stay focused for sure. But yeah, it's I was really lucky, but I'm really glad I stuck with it.
Yeah, and because I believe now you have an agent. Is that right?
That's correct. Yeah, Jimmy. He's based in Austin. The talent agency is Tag Talent.
Okay.
Great people. And I only have one agent right now. A lot of my colleagues have 5, 6, 7 agents. I just want.
Yeah. And so your voiceover work, do you do that, I guess, all over the country?
Yeah, primarily the Southwest region, because Tag Talent is based out of Austin, Texas.
Okay.
So I do most of my stuff out there. You know, just like small medical companies. Excuse me. I haven't done many commercial gigs. It's mostly e-learning.
Okay.
But my first gig, that very first gig I got, was from a company, an application company out of Belgium. That was my very first gig.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, it was. I haven't heard from him since, but it was awesome. It was awesome.
Tim Johnson, International Man of Voiceover.
Yeah, man. It was fun, though. It was fun.
Yeah, but you've done some local work as well, right?
Yeah, I've done a little bit for Winston-Salem Forsyth County School System. Just did a little training video. I don't know if they still have that or not. I've done a little bit of work for Josh Sheminsky. A little bit of work for what's the name of that company? My man Corey. He runs a spot, Fortified Futures. Okay. I did a what's it called? I haven't done it in so long. I forget the name of the actual. It's an on hold messaging. Is basically what that was. Gotcha.
So give us a sample of your work for the on hold messaging.
How they go? Hi, and thanks for calling Fortified Futures. For blah 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 blah, press 1. For blah 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 blah, press 2.
Nice.
For other help, please press 0 now. Yeah, that was a. I didn't prep for that, but it kind of went something like that.
Yeah. Well, so, but you're kind of, your niche is the e-learning gigs.
Yes, sir. That's my thing.
All right.
So I do a lot of my e-learning for Ecolab. I do a lot for them.
Oh wow, yeah.
I'm on the roster. Company. Yeah, multinational, huge corporation.
Right.
Which also means you get your checks late, but you know, whatever.
Yeah, I've been there, done that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, but Ecolab is my biggest. I say my smallest, of course, the folks I work with around the triad. So
okay.
But yeah, e-learning.
Gotcha. Well, and I know Show and Tell LLC does more than just your voiceover work. I think you're into podcasting and video editing. And as a matter of fact, today, before I started this video, I was like, I'm Googling what color shirt to wear for a Zoom meeting. and it said, "Don't wear bright white, don't wear black," because they look like blob on video. So since we're going to be talking about the Panthers,
yeah, man, woohoo!
Here we go. Here we go. So tell us about your podcast.
All right, so the Four-Man Rush, and this logo you see right here, folks. We are a Carolina Panther only podcast. We've recorded 59 episodes so far. We started last year. Okay. It's myself. I'm pretty much the audio engineer and the host of the podcast. And there's a gentleman by the name of Kevin who started the whole thing. Kevin and I met back in 2015. During that huge run by the Panthers and 15-1 season, all other stuff.
Yeah.
We met up for a couple of games there, and we've always kept in touch. And one day he was like, "Dude, I know you do voiceovers. Can you record a podcast?" Like, shoot, yeah, let's go. And he had 3 other guys that he's been communicating with, and I didn't know these fellows very much outside of Facebook. They all have a background in football. They all at least played junior college football. I played JUCO for a year, and I played high school football my life and all of the good stuff. And long story short, we came together, started recording, and we put together 10 episodes before we put it out there on iTunes and all of the stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, we focus on the Panthers. We are the best podcast for the Carolina Panthers out there. I don't care whose toes I step on. That's the truth.
Yeah, no doubt. For all you Panthers fans, be sure to check out the Four-Man Rush on iTunes, and I guess anywhere else you can find a podcast.
iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube. Actually, we put up the whole podcast on YouTube, and we also started chopping up into topic only episodes too. So.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. And Podbean.
Okay. And then, so mentioning YouTube, you guys have a YouTube channel with video as well.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We have a gentleman by the name of Will Harris. He does some great breakdowns on individual players and how they play and the schemes they utilize and what's their weaknesses and their strengths. And he's spot on. He played 4 years at A&T before he moved to Miami. So nice. he knows his stuff. And Kevin knows his stuff. He coached arena football for a year, and he played O-line, throughout his career. If you guys know anything about South Carolina football, them dudes know their stuff.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, that's his background. And Larry, Larry's cousin actually coaches for Tampa Bay. He's a defensive back coach for Tampa. Okay. So we get a lot of inside stuff, especially on NFC South opponents and things of that nature. And I know you mentioned earlier, you asked earlier if we got players and coaches on here, and I was like, no, not yet. But we do get other podcast hosts and news personnel from the Falcons and the Tampa Bay Bucks and not the Saints yet, but
yeah, just a matter of time.
Yeah, it is.
So let's sidetrack on the Panthers just for a minute. Tell us what you thought about the draft back in April.
Oh, buddy. That was by far the best draft the Carolina Panthers have ever produced.
I think so.
I
hope you're right.
I'm a defensive guy anyway. I love defense. I play safety and corner in college and high school, mostly. I play a little bit of running back, a little bit of receiver, but safety, corner, that was my thing.
That's my position too, so I feel you.
My man. You can't underlook what we put on the defensive front line. Derek is going to be he's going to be a problem, and we still got KK short, folks. So, I mean, it was already hard enough with KK and Star, because Star was he was getting double teams from the center and the guard mostly, and KK was just doing his own thing over there, so beating his one-on-one matchups. Now you have KK and Derek Brown on top of Burns and the gentleman we drafted. I'll forget his name. He has a funny name. But the gentleman we drafted from Penn State, the second pick.
Yeah.
Our front four is going to be ridiculous, folks.
Man, I hope so. I mean, because it's with Luke retiring and Olsen gone. I mean, and Cam. I mean, who knows where Cam? I don't think Cam signed yet, has he?
Nah. Actually, we're recording a series on Cam right now.
Okay.
Yeah. Start, did we put enough pieces around Cam and where he might line up and what we've heard about Cam from his camp, things of that nature. But yeah, we have a series going out. But I don't know where he's gonna land, dude. There's a lot of rumors going around about why, but I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
but it's a great draft.
He's a huge talent. I mean, he's a little bit of a risk reward with the injuries that he's had, and I mean, he's flamboyant. He's got his own little personality that teams are going to have to deal with. But if he can produce on the field, all that, who cares?
Exactly.
If he has a season like he did in 2015, he wouldn't be leaving the Panthers. But it's been a while. He's had a couple of down seasons. So
it has.
Anyway, I guess enough about the Panthers. We'll leave that to the four-man rush.
Feel free to communicate with us, folks, on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. We're always ears on.
Yeah, good deal. Well, so with your experience in podcasting, we've talked a little bit about with what's going on with COVID-19. I think that's it's going to be a great way to communicate and market your services in the future, I believe.
Absolutely.
For a business owner out there, or just anyone, with a service that they provide or whatever, what are a few tips that you could recommend on how to start a podcast, a successful podcast?
Sure. So first and foremost, if you want to be on any major platform, iTunes, etc., you need to have at least 10 podcasts in the bank, right? You need to go ahead and record 10. Make sure it's a clean sound, because iTunes is very picky about that. If you listen to iTunes podcasts, everybody's sound quality is pretty darn good.
Mm-hmm.
So they're very picky about that. So go ahead and think, get with the team or whatever, come up with 10 podcasts. It doesn't have to be long, right? Anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes is great. We all have short attention spans anyway, so
yeah.
Sure. So going with what? So go in with 10 episodes that you have lined up, and each episode needs to have a beginning and an end, right? So you need to have an intro. That intro should never change, right? So it needs to be something that you're really comfortable with, because people want consistency, right? You don't want to sound one way for 3 episodes and then sound completely different. People get turned off by that. So you want an intro and an outro. In my opinion, your outro should be also a disclaimer, especially if you're speaking on a topic that deals with a large franchise or some type of entity that you can get copyrighted tagged on, because they'll get you. Have a disclaimer at the end. Add a little touch of music in there, that fits the topic. You don't want to have Metallica if you're talking about kittens. So it needs to fit a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. In terms of equipment, I'm using my voiceover microphone. This is a Sennheiser shotgun microphone, Sennheiser 416. They run you about $1,000. You don't need that. You do not need that, folks. You do not need that. You need a decent USB microphone. I have one over there, actually. It's a Audio Technica 2020. You just need a decent USB microphone, but the most important thing is the space that you're in, right? I have carpet on my floors, and as you guys probably can see, I have some panels back there, just to minimize the reflection a little bit. There you go. So you want to make sure your space is intact first before you get a microphone. The microphone is the last thing you need to buy.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Good deal. Well, so what I know we talked about video editing. I mean, what are some other things that Show and Tell LLC? I mean, what's your typical client look like? And
my typical client is just your basic individual. It depends on what they're looking for. I mean, if they're looking for a voiceover to go along with said video editing, that can be anybody from a small mom and pops entity. I know I was talking to somebody on email yesterday from, what was that, Lancaster, I believe it was. But they just have this little mom and pops, little store. They sell I sell candies and little dolls and things like that. It's basically a kid store.
Yeah.
So they wanted me to do a little intro voiceover for their little video, something like that, and it can go all the way up to Ecolab. I haven't done any video editing for those guys yet because they can afford some real stuff.
Oh yeah.
But if need be, I could do that too.
Sure.
But from a podcast standpoint, that especially now, as you mentioned, the COVID situation, that can be anybody, right? If you're trying to get some type of e-commerce going, podcast is probably a great thing for you to do because you can put that out with video content. You can put that out on every major media platform, digital media platform out there right now.
Right.
Without a problem, especially YouTube. And of course, you can take those YouTube links and post that all over the place.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, I offer a lot. Value is the primary thing I want to push forward because you'll be hard pressed to find somebody who can. I'm not tooting my own horn. I'm not.
That's okay. Hey, it's a business feature. You're allowed to toot your own horn right now, Tim. Thanks for it, man.
I'm humble, man. I don't like bragging on myself.
I feel that.
I let my work do that for me, but
yeah,
you'd be hard pressed to find somebody who can do professional voiceovers because I am a pro. Provide podcasting, remote podcasting from anywhere on the planet. Thank you, internet. And also provide video production. I use Premiere Pro, and I'm getting pretty darn good at Adobe After Effects too. So
okay.
you put that together.
Yeah, man, the total package.
Total package, but
right there, you're looking at him, y'all. Tim Johnson.
that's my goal, man. I'm a 4-H Honor Club member. Making the best better. That's our motto, and that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
Because as a real estate agent, man, if you're making money, then somebody else is making money.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're getting a great deal, then somebody else is getting a great deal, and that's what I want to provide. I want to provide a great deal, with a great product. You can't beat that.
Yeah, definitely. Well, you mentioned working with mom and pop businesses. Why do you think it's important to shop local?
Oh, dude, that is so important. I really wish more people would think about that. I mean, it's so tempting to get out there and just order from Amazon, get sent to your house. From a tax revenue standpoint, it's extremely important because when you spend money in the community and that dollar goes to somebody else in the community and that dollar goes, you're recirculating that dollar in the community.
Exactly.
And you're touching so many different things from police officers to firemen to teachers to after school programs. I mean, the dollar in the community is by far probably one of the most important things we can do to make our community better.
Yeah, I would agree 100%.
Yeah, so that's why supporting local is extremely important. That's why I want to help small businesses in this area.
Yeah,
get the word out.
Yeah. So speaking of this area, the Lewisville-Clemmons area, what are some of the things that you really enjoy about the Lewisville-Clemmons area?
Oh wow. So I coached the West for a while, so I have a good grip on the people, man. There's some great people in the Lewisville-Clemmons community.
Yeah.
And of course, it's a beautiful community. God, Tanglewood. I mean, you go up to the Louisville parks and it's all nice and green and it's upkept nice.
We are blessed with some really nice parks, no doubt.
Buddy, it's beautiful. It's beautiful, man. And I'm from the country, so I really have a respect for that.
Yeah.
So the people and the environment. And we have some great restaurants out here, some nice little pubs and popping up here and there.
Mm-hmm. I'm glad to see they're starting to open back, with all the COVID stuff. We went out over the weekend and they were slowly opening out and honestly not a lot of customers, from what we saw. So hopefully people will use their social distancing and get out and support some of these local restaurants. So
please do, folks. Please do. I know my wife and I, we've been ordering from some local farms in terms of like produce and things of that nature, mm-hmm. so we can kind of eliminate going to the grocery store out of our necessities, so to say. Mm-hmm. And that's been working for us pretty well.
Yeah, good deal. What can you mention any of those by name?
is it Let It Grow? Let It Grow out of Winston. They deliver. There's the place that we get our most of our stuff from is up towards Mount area that way, but they deliver all the way in Davidson County. So
Okay.
it's gosh, I'm doing these folks are wrong. I know I am. Yeah, see, this is why you need to have a wife here right now. But yeah, they just brought some stuff to us this morning, man.
Okay.
There's Let It Grow. They're out of Winston. Mill River. We've been dealing with those folks for a while, but we get our stuff from the fairgrounds.
They set up at the fairgrounds.
Yeah.
Okay. Farmers market there.
Yep.
Yeah. Good deal.
Yeah.
Well, man, Tim, it's been awesome getting to know you a little bit more. And I mean, I feel like this was kind of deja vu all over again. We actually did this one time before, folks, and we had a little bit of a technical difficulty, but hey, it happens, right?
It does. It does. I'm just glad this wasn't a live recording with CBS Studios. That would have crushed me.
Yeah. Well, Tim, so if people wanted to get in touch with you for voiceover or podcast production, video editing, how do they reach you?
Sure. So you can email me, and my email address is showandtell, that's SHOW, the letter N, TELL, LLC, a lot of L's, at gmail.com. You can also reach me on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, anywhere the 4-Man Rush is, you can find me.
Yeah, and we'll post all your links on our post when we post the video. So we'll put the links on there.
Appreciate you, man.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Sorry. And in terms of voiceover, if you want to email me directly about voiceovers, it's Johnson, 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 Tim, all lowercase, at timmyvo.com.
Gotcha. Well, man, I really love doing this because I'm getting to meet so many, fun and interesting local people.
Yeah.
And, so this has been a lot of fun, Tim. I've enjoyed it.
I appreciate it, Tony. And folks, if you haven't seen the rest of the videos he made on his YouTube channel, go check them out, please.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, if you're watching on YouTube, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We'd appreciate it. For any of the local business features that we put out, as well as real estate news. So appreciate that, Tim.
Yes, sir. Anytime, man.
All right, folks. Well, thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.
Take care.